Right now at 6, why thousands in Multnomah County who paid a controversial tax could be getting a refund.
Those first couple of years, there's a added complexity to it.
Plus, the new legal effort to try and let voters decide on more funding for Portland police.
Then, where an invasive pest was just discovered in Southwest Washington for the first time.
There is no ability to eradicate this pest.
And later, the effort to offer more drug treatment options facing neighborhood pushback.
If they turn this into a sobering center, I'll never be able to sell my building.
But first to our top story and what you might call some new revelations when it comes to Multnomah County's Preschool for All program. With the news, some people who might not have met the income threshold still had money taken out of their paychecks. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. That's as county leaders consider increasing the tax even without all the seats filled. Harley Coldiron is live outside the county building in Southeast Portland to help make sense of it. Harley.
Hey, Christine and David, good evening. The final vote for the potential tax increase does appear that it is going to be, they are going to delay that tax increase until at least next year. Now, late today, we learned that up to 7,000 Preschool for All taxpayers may potentially be owed up to $4.3 million in refunds.
A tax increase likely delayed. Some public commenters on Thursday strongly opposed pushing back a nearly 1% increase to Multnomah County's Preschool for All program.
In terms of bang for the buck, public investments in universal preschool are by far the best economic development strategy we have.
On average, the county says it saves families $20,000 a year, with the funding coming from a personal income tax for those making more than $125,000 a year.
So why should taxpayers pay more into an overly funded program that has exceeded the revenue expectations, needs substantially fewer seats, and can currently remain financially sustainable without the increase?
The delay comes as Portland State University projects the funding increase likely won't be needed until closer to 2029. However, there does appear to be problems with the program.
There might be possible overpayments where some of these taxpayers didn't meet the income threshold.
Commissioners asked just one question about these potential overpayments, but KGW had many more.
We asked how many residents overpaid, how much are they owed, why is this being discovered 4 years later, and what's being done to make sure it doesn't happen again.
It appears nearly 7,000 taxpayers are potentially owed up to $4.3 million in refunds from 2021 and 2022. This is because they had the Preschool for All tax withheld on their paycheck but never filed a return. Because these people didn't file returns, the county doesn't know if they are due a refund or not.
It's based on if you meet a threshold. And so it's not automatically you earn income, you're automatically subject to withholding like state income tax.
Officials became aware of the issue as part of its routine compliance work. During the meeting Thursday, the county CFO said the unique program requirements and a steep learning curve at the beginning was part of the problem.
It was a new tax, and there was a transition period in terms of being aware of the tax, communication around tax.
Now, normally you only have 3 years to file your taxes, but today commissioners approved changes to the tax code that would allow people to file a return and potentially get those refunds. Christine and David, they're going to start outreach to those people in September, and it will last about 8 months.
Why do I have a feeling folks are going to be checking their returns right now as we speak? That's Harley Coldiron, Southeast. Thanks, Harley. In an update, some supporters of an effort to use Portland climate dollars to hire more police. It's an initiative that failed to qualify for the November ballot. Well, they are now suing in federal court.
The proposal would have used money from Portland's Clean Energy Fund to hire and train police officers. Multnomah County Elections said the petition fell short of the required signatures, partially due to a high number of rejected signatures. The lawsuit asks the court to act quickly, so if a new count finds enough valid signatures, the initiative could appear on the ballot. We reached out to the city. Its only comment, the city auditor's office gave, quote, substantial information on why the petition didn't qualify.
In your headlines this evening, Vancouver police are investigating a deadly crash that killed a man in a wheelchair. This was in a marked crosswalk Wednesday evening at MacArthur Boulevard and Andreessen Road. Authorities say the 74-year-old was crossing in a motorized wheelchair when he was hit. He was taken to the hospital but did not survive. Police say the driver stopped at a stop sign at the intersection before the crash, didn't show any signs of impairment, and remained at the scene. We're learning more about the victim right now and we'll have a live report coming up at 6:30.
The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office is investigating 2 in-custody deaths that happened 2 days apart. Around 5 o'clock this morning, investigators say deputies at the Inverness Jail in Northeast Portland responded to a man having a medical event who became unresponsive. Despite first responders' life-saving attempts, he died. It follows another in-custody death on Tuesday at the downtown jail. The sheriff's office says the cases are not related and there is no evidence of suspicious activity.
In southeast Portland, authorities are looking for the person who shot a man this morning at Johnson Creek Park. The victim was taken to the hospital and should survive. Police searched the park with a drone and a canine and say their initial investigation suggests this shooting was not random.
Police cited a driver after his car crashed into a restaurant in southwest Portland earlier today. Investigators say the driver somehow lost control while heading north on Barber Boulevard, then crashed into Baja Fresh. The driver was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. He was cited for driving uninsured and not having a license. No other injuries were reported.
And if you noticed haze today around the Portland metro, local firefighters say that is not a new fire, but instead smoke that's made its way into the valley from existing wildfires. They include the Grasshopper southeast of Mount Hood, which is now 66% contained. Yes, after burning more than 92,000 acres. That's about the size of the Rose City, as well as the Narrows fire on the Clackamas River, pushing smoke into that area. Thanks to KGW viewer Terry Longwell for these photos. Matt, bit of a warm one out there. How long till the haze moves away?
Yeah, things will be cooling off tomorrow, and the haze should move away as we go into tomorrow and the weekend again. It's not too bad looking out there in Portland right now, but once you get east of town, you can see the smoke that filled the Clackamas River Valley here early this morning. It got pushed out with the warming of the day as it got warmed up around the edges and the winds picked up out of the northwest. But it was really thick there, as those pictures from Terry showed us. We've got the cluster of fires in Clackamas County, the Grasshopper Fire and the High Lava Fire, all still producing smoke. Our air quality is mainly good to moderate, but up on Mount Hood, it's in the unhealthy category because of the smoke that's thickened up there. Down in Prineville, unhealthy for sensitive groups. We look around the state and it's mainly good to moderate, except for those 2 locations. And again, it just depends on what the wind is doing right now. It should improve in both of those spots later on tonight. Here's a look from our Timberline Skycam. You can see the smoke up there, right? Super easily. And it's a little bit smokier now than it was up there this time yesterday. 77 degrees at Timberline. The smoke area expands a little bit to the west, but then it gets shoved well on off to the east as we see a change in the weather pattern tomorrow night and into Saturday. And the smoke doesn't look like it'll be as thick at that time either. Again, so things will be improving at that point. So sunny and warm. We had that today. Mostly sunny tomorrow, but cooler. And still looking at potential thunderstorms tomorrow night. We'll talk more on that later, guys.
Yeah, good to hear. The smoke situation should be improving. Thank you, Matt.
For the first time, the shiny green metallic beetle that can devastate local trees has been spotted in Washington. We're talking about the emerald ash borer, which was found in Clark County.
Devin Haskins has more from Hazeldale.
The emerald ash borer can fly up to 7 miles, was found somewhere along Highway 99 here in Hazeldale on a windshield of a car found by a couple. They bagged it up, turned it over to the state, confirming the state's first invasive insect in Washington. It is a bug no states want, but it is now in more than 25 across the United States as well as Canada. The emerald ash borer now in Washington.
There is no ability to eradicate this pest.
And that's what Daria Goshla, an urban forestry planner with DNR, says makes managing this pest so hard to do. The bug is native to Asia, but has been in the United States since 2002. 4 years ago, it was found in Forest Grove.
It does take several years for ash to completely kill a tree. So I know they're seeing decline in Oregon.
Adult emerald ash borers fly high above, feeding on the leaves of a certain type of ash tree before laying their eggs. The larvae, when hatched, burrow into the tree and wreak havoc.
And disrupt the tree's what I call plumbing system. So disrupt the movement of water and nutrients up and down the trunk of the tree.
Signs of an emerald ash borer can be thinning canopy leaves, peeling bark, and S-shaped burrowed marks beneath the bark of an ash tree. Here's a photo of the emerald ash borer that was found in Hazeldale in early August. A couple walking to their car saw the bright green bug on their windshield and captured it.
We want people, the residents of Washington, to be aware of things that look unusual, insects that look unusual, to report them to the Washington Invasive Species app, and to be those eyes on the ground.
And she says if there's one, there's likely more.
So it's going to potentially have very negative ecological consequences in the native stands for Ganesh.
There have already been several sightings in Oregon in the last 4 years, including earlier this month in Beaverton, Salem, and Rock Creek. And it's unlikely you'll start seeing them fly around even more because now is when they go dormant. In Hazel Dell, Washington, I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.